Welcome to Season 3 of the Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Welcome to this week's episode of Casual Camping Podcast. It's like the warm, buttery loveliness being poured directly into your ears. I'm Tim.
Oh, and I'm Ade. Are we doing our soft voices, Tim?
Deep, dark, and husky. I'm listening.
Oh, God. I don't like it. I have to say, I don't like it. Can you at least not, look away or something when you're doing it?
You want me to look into the mid-distance, not into your eyes?
Oh, dear. How you doing?
I'm full of cold still. I've had it for 2 weeks, and it's driving me to distraction. And I'm not good ill. I'm really not good ill. I'm a grumpy, really grumpy old man.
It's a shame that you're not good ill, because you're ill quite a lot, to be honest, Tim. Can you practice a little bit, because you should be good at it by now.
I am sorry. You are right, though. I am just a little bit decrepit, really.
He was a sickly child, and he was even sicklier man.
And then he died.
Oh
gosh.
Yeah. So it's the weather's really turned. I'm sat here in a coat.
Yeah,
You're sat there in an hoodie.
I've got a camping hoodie on. It's got a tent on it. It's got fire with marshmallows, and I am a camping hoodie, and it is cold. It's proper autumn, isn't it? It's turned.
Yeah, and you know what that means.
Sales.
I mean, it means lots of things, obviously. It means beautiful colours in the trees that you and I can't see because we're colourblind, but it does look lovely out there. Certainly where I'm at in lovely Warwickshire. It also means sales, and I'm starting to get that itch of I need to buy something. And it also means the favourite time of year to go camping if you've got a tent stove. Boom!
Absolutely. The season's ending for most people. The camping fields and the hills are getting quieter and quieter, which means it's the best time to go camping if you've got a tent stove that can keep you nice and warm. Get yourself out in the field, people. It's and if you haven't bought a tent stove, who are you?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not judging. We're just big fans of less people where we're camping, annoying the hell out of us, and you know what? Then you go to bed. And I mean, I don't know about you, Tim, but when I get into my tent, when we've been camping and stuff, obviously I've been drinking quite a lot. And then I get the fire on. Now, I'm not the longest person to stay awake when I go to bed. I'm out like a light. So I stock the stove up. Don't even really enjoy it that much because I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Oh, gone. Now, I am safe and I am careful and I do have carbon monoxide alarms and all those things. But even so, I'm like, drink, warmth.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie goes bye-bye.
I'm exactly the same. That literally, if I'm camping with you or other people, we've been sat around a fire outside. We have a few drinks. I normally scrape up some of the embers and take them into the tent stove, so I don't have to faff around with trying to light a fire. When I've had a couple of shandies, and
I wondered where you were going with that. I scrape up. I was like, what? What's he going to say? You're going to have to find a better way to say, I collected the embers from the fire to make it easier to light my own. Because you've got a lovely scoop that you do. But yeah, I scraped it up and threw it in my tent.
Scraped a bit of slag off the side and put it in my tent stove.
Oh dear, yeah.
All right, yeah, I understand. But yeah, I was just agreeing with you really that as soon as you do that, you kind of, it's on there, it's lit, you stoke it up, you get it going, your head hits the pillow, bang.
Yeah.
Gone to sleep.
And I guess as well, when you're camping, and we camp in groups, so generally you go to bed late. And it's all on to like, well, no, I'm going to have a fire. I've prepped it. I'll put the wood in, and all I need to do is just start set it alight and stuff. But even so, yeah, I get to bed late and then go, I can just feel it.
Gone. Absolutely gone. It's different if I'm camping on my own or if I'm camping with my other half, because it's more of a relaxed atmosphere and not quite so much drinking. Although obviously, when we went to Northumberland, there was quite a lot of drinking, and I needed carrying to
honestly,
the tent.
Yeah, you and Alex, God, both of you. Plonky Town, I thought it. Don't worry, Tim. She's not listening.
She's not listening. She's not. She's in the other room, but I've got headphones on, so she can't hear what you're saying about her.
For you, there's a lady I don't want to get on the wrong side of.
Disapproving eyes.
Thought it was just my partner with the disapproving eyes, but no. Apparently, there's quite a few people that know somebody with disapproving eyes.
Yes. Does your partner have disapproving eyes? You need to go camping more often.
There needs to be an ointment or something.
I think that would just make their disapproving eyes a bit blurry, Ed. They'll probably get quite angry eyes then if you put ointment in them.
Have you seen those specs with like sunglasses with somebody's like frowny eyes in them? Yeah. Does your girlfriend have frowny eyes? Here you go. For any mood.
Yeah, we need to do some non-frowny, non-disapproving eyes. You just put those on and they look okay.
Shh, she's sleeping. I'm not sleeping. You put glasses on me.
She talks in her sleep. Shh.
Oh dear. Yeah. Thankfully, yes. She's not listening.
They don't listen. Neither of them listen. They're not listening. We're all right. We're safe, I think.
And the irony is that certainly my partner would go, "What? I don't listen. What?" She'd be like, "What did I just say?" I was like, "I caught the first bit. I trailed out after. I zoned out a bit." Anyway, so Tim, it's another episode. Thank you, you wonderful listeners, for keeping with us and listening to the nonsense that we talk to each other with.
I know, it's mad. I've got another 5-star mediocre review, Ed.
Oh God, these listeners are getting needy.
Ah, come on, it's going to be the last one of the whole year, so we're not going to get another one.
Who's needy? We're needy.
This has come through on the fan mail link in the show notes, which you can send. But again, you've got to remember to put your name in. You've got to remember to put your name in. It's
Is this Javier?
No, this is there is no name. There is no name.
Well, we can make up a name.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let
Well, I'll give it to you first, and then you can make up a name.
okay. Yeah.
Hey fellas, thank you for the humour, lessons, and stories. Ever since your listener (brackets Chris from Texas), there's only one Chris in Texas. Close brackets, introduced me to y'all a while back. Casual Camping Podcast has become a staple on my drives. As a novice camper, it helps so much to hear your thoughts and experience, and because y'all are hilarious, it doesn't feel like a chore. Camping can feel so overwhelming at first, but you fellas have taught me to laugh as well as learn from errors. Keep it up. Thanks, guys. P.S. Sorry, I don't know anyone in Antarctica. And that's from Texarkana in Texas.
I think that might be Javier.
Javier's?
No. Well, cheers, Chris, for introducing. What lovely words. Thank you. I think we do forget that, we are just talking to each other and that there's people out there listening to us. And it's really amazing to think that people are laughing along to our nonsense, as well as that, we're still learning. We're on the journey that just like everybody else is. So whether you're a novice or not, we still have those things. And I think Mother Nature challenges us all at different times when we're out camping under canvas or whatever. So,
Yeah, I
glad
mean,
to have you with us.
this is casual camping. We do not pretend to be expert campers. We've done a whole host of camping in different places and in different stuff. So we've been there and done most things. Still doesn't mean we're any good at it. But we've been there and we've tried. We've given it a
Tim,
go.
we are triers. If nothing else, we are triers.
God loves the trier. God loves the trier.
I'm not sure he loves me sometimes, but
Oh God, no bonkers. What are we going to talk about this week, Ed?
Well, it was the change in season, really, and so we were talking a little bit earlier, or text in between, and we were talking about our favourite season, going camping, tent stoves, things like that. And actually, how do you start fires in those colder temperatures? So it's all about fire, really, Tim, and the many varied ways in which you can start them.
Yeah, because we've done fires before, haven't we? And we've had a few listeners recently kind of join us and binge through all of our episodes. And we try our best not to repeat ourselves, although we know we do repeat ourselves quite a bit. But yeah, we haven't done fire lighting, have we? We haven't done how to set fire to stuff.
To stuff. I mean, I've been a confirmed pyromaniac since I don't know when, to be honest. My mum and dad were heavy smokers. I'm a child of the 70s, and cigarettes were readily available around the house, as were lighters, matches, and just just that pyromaniac inside me was like, I want to get a hold of matches and just strike them and create fire. And
You're frightening me now, Ed. You're frightening me now. I do remember that our sister's Wendy house being set on fire. It's
honestly, I'd made a cartoon, like cartoon campfires. So,
Yeah.
even back then, cartoons that had them, and they were like those, like all
sticks all
pointing into the center,
which we
in
now
a cone shape.
We now know as a TP fire. But yeah,
TP fire,
yeah.
Brilliant. So it was one of those, and I'd done that with matches and set it and I distinctly, and I think about 6 at this time.
Jesus.
I distinctly had the thought of, it'd be good if the carpet started to burn.
Oh my God. Oh my
Honestly,
God.
as clear as like some memories are just so clear. And I was like, I'd lit the matches, they were going up, and I was like, and they were starting to go out, and I was like, oh, it needs something else. It'll be good if that.
If the carpet caught on fire. Oh my
You
God.
know, thankfully, my dad came in then. He's your dad too, but for this purposes of this story, Tim is my dad.
I
And
bet he was pleased.
oh, he was like, "There's burning in here," and I jumped up, popped up from nowhere, going, "Yeah," like knew that I'd been caught, but pretended that I'd found it too, and went, "Yeah, I thought that too, Dad." There followed a swift but lethal blow. I was my ass was stinging for a while.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Blooming heck. It's
But yes, I just yeah. But it was the 70s. We had open fires, we had matches laying around, and you know what? I was even given sort of like old paperwork to go burn in the garden and stuff. So,
old tax returns.
old tax returns.
Yeah. Go burn these documents in the garden, lad.
And don't talk to anybody about them. Oh, it was grim up north.
them were days.
Them were days. You know nothing. You didn't have to go out and burn
Tax forms.
tax forms to hide from the tax man. Tim, we've said too much.
We have. Crank caller.
So yes, so that was the early formative kind of thing, and it didn't put me off. I've just always kind of like, I currently own about 25 lighters, although I don't smoke.
I can beat that. I've got a box of 100. In my prepper supplies, I've got a box of 100 Bic lighters.
Oh,
because one's not enough.
no, they're not. So yeah, I think that's the thing of this time of year, learning how to make a good fire. Lily said to me last night, she was like, "I suppose I should learn to light the wood burner." And I was like, "Well, you don't get a dog and bark yourself, do you?"
She doesn't need to do that. She's got an aid.
To be honest, though, I mean, that's the thing, Actually, if she started doing that, I'd be like, what use am I?
Yeah. You'd be out in the street, Ed.
I'd be out on the street. I'd be like, oh, better worry about this. Like, she's starting to light fire. She no longer needs me. I'm no longer useful to her or society. What's going on? Did I go down a spiral there?
Yeah, you went to a dark place really quick.
Don't worry, Tim. I've got matches. We'll make light.
Oh God, my first sort of times of trying to light fires was when we had the open fire, and I was probably like 10. And the open fire was the only heat source in the whole house, and in the living room, and whoever was up, you just had to light the fire because that was just the job that was needed. You had to clean it out from the night before, and you had to light a fire. And we were proper poor. We didn't have fire lighters or anything like that. We had yesterday's newspaper that you had to scrunch up some big pieces into the base, and it was a coal fire. There was no wood. I don't know why we never had wood, but we never had wood. We just had coal.
Never had wood.
So you had to light coal with just some bits of newspaper.
Honestly, it's the hardest thing to do.
I mean, it's made me an expert, really. I am Zen master, really, at that now. But you then have to get like 2 sheets of newspaper, roll them up, and then coil them up so they were really tight, so that they were like your firelighters. Yeah. And it was It did always work. It didn't always work. Sometimes you'd have to put like a big sheet of newspaper up against the front of the fire to really draw the air through. And then sometimes that would catch and the whole thing would go on fire. You'd have to like throw it into the fire really quickly. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like my first times of lighting fires really out of necessity to just get some heat in the house because it was the only heat source we had.
Ah,
Bad,
uh,
wasn't it? It's bad. It's
yeah,
crazy times. Crazy times.
it is crazy times because it feels like it was only 10 or 15 years ago, and it's obviously if
40.
you were 10,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was 14, and yeah, there was some very cold winters back then, and we didn't have an awful lot of coal, we didn't have an awful lot of money for it, so. Yeah, but we were all experts, and whoever got up first had to do that.
Yeah. You just and
So
and the fire then stayed in all day and into the night until some last person went to bed. And sometimes if you were up really late, you'd try and like fill it up a bit to try and see if you could get it to go through the night, but it never went through the night. It was all burnt and gone. It's
yeah,
but it did
yeah.
it did teach you, good skills of lighting fires, which I still persevere. I'm doing it now every time I'm going camping. It's
But that's the thing as well, though, is I was lighting a fire the other night, and it just wasn't
in
going right
in the house, on the
in
carpet,
the house.
someone
Yeah,
else's house.
derelict shed at the bottom of the street. No, Tim. I've always tried to say no to arson and those intrusive thoughts.
Just say no, Eddie. Just say
Just say no. Just say no. Um, but yeah, and sometimes fires can be an absolute arse. You've done everything right and they just don't light,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. And this time of year, certainly when it's cold, uh, I can feel my frustration levels about it going like, oh, and yeah, I was doing it the other night, and I really sort of calmed down about it because I thought, you know what, you're in a house. It's you've got at least 3 blowtorches that you can get in 2 minutes.
And that's the thing, I did the first burn on the new stove, on my new tent stove the other day, and I thought I'm going to do this properly. I'm gonna have a little play with my stuff. I got a little bit of tinder out, a little bit of dried tinder from my new tinder pouch. I got some little tiny shavings. I didn't try and do feather sticks or anything like that. I did some tiny shavings. Go on.
Do you mean the Timder pouch?
The Tinder pouch. Yes. I got some tinder from the Tinder.
That's what mine's called now. It can't be an aid thing. It's got to be timber. Tinder.
Oh God. But yeah, I got some little wood shavings. I got some slightly larger pieces of wood. Then I got some little battens, and I just thought I've got it all laid out. The timber I can't say it, tinder caught with like one spark because I thought I'm going to light it with my fire steel. I'm going to light it with my new birthday knife, and
Lovely.
it just felt really great to be able to just get all of those pieces together, light a fire, get it in the stove, and get the stove roaring away really easily. And you know what? I felt like I was proper. Felt like I was like proper doing it. I did.
You were winning at life, Tim. You were
I
winning
was.
at life.
I was. I was. I felt right proud of myself. I don't mind
So
saying.
you should. And a lot of times, for me, when it gets going, it takes me right back to that. I quite like that carpet to get going. Kind of thoughts. Not that I want carpet to be burning. It was I was a very young lad and things, but just even now, that joy that, a
Yeah,
good fire
it's
gives
great.
you.
I find, I love the joy of when there's a roaring fire and everything else. And we've had some really big fires this year, big open fires in the woods. I've had tent stoves roaring away. It's been great.
Yeah.
But actually, that joy of lighting a fire is just brilliant. That's
Yeah.
caveman shit right there, and I bloody love that.
Yeah.
I honestly I get the same feeling. I got a great feeling lighting my stove, doing it with a fire steel and some tinder and all of that stuff, and getting it all set up and doing it all. Great feeling when it goes up. But I get a similar feeling when I use some a firelighter
Yeah.
and a set of matches or a big lighter to get stuff going, because there's something about lighting a fire. There's something really
Yeah.
primeval about lighting a fire and it taking and you having success in
Yeah.
that the fire's lit, and I just bloody love that. I just think it's great. That's one of the essences of camping for me.
Yeah. I think, yeah, if you distill it down, it's, to me, it's that kind of trivecta of, actually survival, tent, gear, fire, those three things
Yeah.
that go happy,
Yeah, yeah,
happy.
yeah. Happiness is in the middle of all of that stuff going
Yeah,
on, and it's
it,
it's so is. It so is.
yeah, it really is. And and this is the thing that, I at this time of year you see obviously leaves starting to fall. We're in the UK, so it's starting to get windy and cold and those kind of things. But, I look out for things that are very good to burn. I've got a
Mm,
little pouch with things in.
cool,
So fire steel, obviously. I've got an actual steel and flint that you got me.
cool.
And I've got some fabric that has been charred down so that it'll hold that thing. So those are all things. Um, I've also got firelighters.
Mm.
Firelighters are on every Christmas and birthday list that I ever make because although somebody got me a year's supply of them last year, I've still got probably three-quarters of a year because actually they are nice and easy. They are my go-to kind of thing that I can do, but I also made my own as well. So I'm using some of those from some bits of candle that I made and some cut up Christmas tree last year. I think I did some for you
You did,
in a
and
little
I have to
box.
say they were in an egg box, and there was
Yeah.
a pine cone. Pine cones are awesome firelighters.
Oh,
They are great.
honestly.
There's so much resin in them. They're absolutely brilliant. But
They've
those,
all shed their seeds, and so you find them all over the place.
yeah.
They're absolutely brilliant at pine cones, and they burn so brightly.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
will they will literally get a fire going, and they'll take a match. You can put a match to a pine cone, it'll get going. They're brilliant. Those firelighters you made me were epic. I have burnt them all, unsurprisingly, but they were absolutely epic. They were great. I've never actually got round to making my own firelighters, and I've watched so many YouTube videos of people who are soaking cotton wool in wax and then filling them into here and putting a match inside and all of these other things, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. And I don't know why I've never got around to doing it. Those ones that you made me were great, really
yeah.
really brilliant.
Good. I'm really pleased about that. I did myself some, and I did them slightly differently. So rather than pine cones in an egg box and stuff.
Hmm.
I had Christmas trees in January left over, obviously, and I burnt the Christmas trees,
Of course.
you know, but then afterwards in the daytime, I went round and collected all the bits and pieces that hadn't burnt. So leftovers, and just got scissors and kind of cut them up and put them into egg boxes and put more wax over those. They work
Wow.
really, really well. There's things like what I don't know what the bush is, but it's called old man's beard.
Oh yeah, it's a type of moss, isn't it? It's like a lichen moss that you get hangs off trees and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's really good. And I kind of collect some of that.
Mm,
Um, if I'm, doing some DIY and stuff, I collect up the sawdust and I think,
yeah,
yeah, that's really good to hold a spark from a fire steel. And then also silver birches. When you're just out this time of year, just peel some of that off and actually have it in a dry bag somewhere. So
yeah.
you can just keep all of those things. Because,
It is great to go foraging for stuff like that, and if you are out and about and you're camping and you haven't brought stuff, there is always stuff like you've just listed to go and find. It might not always be completely dry, but you can put it close to your body inside all your layers, and while you're getting other stuff sorted, your body heat will dry it out, and
yeah.
those old man beards and stuff like that, and bits of grass and things, you can really sort of dry it out by putting it in amongst your layers, and then by the time you're ready for a fire, it should be dry enough to get stuff going.
Wow, the other thing,
Just be careful you haven't put like spiders and things like that in there, and beetles and things, because that I don't do that because I'd be like terrified. What's that?
but that's the thing, isn't it? That every time, I mean, I'm excited about making a fire, and then there is also that time of going, right, what's the necessity? Do I need to be
Mm,
quick? Do I have time to, just go with this? Or yeah, can I play a little bit? Because
yeah,
that's it for me. I like playing with it. In regards to dry stuff, pine trees obviously are a wonderful source of. You can get fat wood from that.
fat wood.
Fat
Gotta
wood.
love a bit of fat wood. I've got a big lump of fat wood. It's great.
Yeah. So, that's something that you can either buy. I've not really actually foraged for fat wood, but I think I found it previously, but I didn't really know what it was.
Yeah,
And it's like a spur branch that is just very soaked in resin. So
yeah.
really, really good to set alight. And once it's alight, you can make sort of feather sticks with it and stuff. And
Mm,
feather sticks generally are a very good thing to get going. It's also about playing in camp as well.
mm.
These are things that sort of take up time. We're also used to watching telly and watching this and doing that and having to sort this out. Actually, just feathering a stick sometimes is just brilliant. It's not a
Yeah.
euphemism.
You feather your own stick. No, it is. It's those simple joys, isn't it, of preparing for it. But as you say, sometimes necessity takes over, and that's all right. That's all right to get a lighter out. It's all right to get a fire lighter out. It's absolutely all right to get the blowtorch, because that's why we own blowtorches. Because sometimes you absolutely need a fire quick. You've got to start
Yeah.
cooking. You're cold. Other people that are, if our partners are with us and they're cold, you can't be fannying around trying to sort out a fire and it taking you half an hour while
Yeah.
you do this and do that because you're having fun doing all of that. They're not having fun watching you do all of that. They want a fire.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's absolutely appropriate to get out a blowtorch and just get the flame on. Get the flame
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I think that that is, yeah, I mean, you made a good point there. Sometimes I remember, I think either this last sort of summer or maybe the one before, and somebody attempted to make a fire. And my dad said, like, "Oh, stepping on his toes there. And I didn't realize that I'd taken that responsibility for however long we've been going camping. But it was definitely something that I must have done because I always go, oh, I'll go do this.
Yeah.
Now, some people must have been quite happy to allow that to happen. But when we're in camping with different people and stuff, I really like to be involved in lighting a fire, or at least, trying to revive. I get good fun out of the morning after reviving a fire.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Even if it's the morning that we're packing up,
Yeah,
still go and see if I can just is there an ember in there? Is there a bit of an ember? Can I get that going? Can I just get something going? And it's great fun just lighting that fire even on the morning that you're leaving. And obviously, yes, making sure it's fully out before you leave.
yeah.
But actually, while you're packing up, it's really nice just to relight the fire. And
Yeah, it just
real
is.
simple. I hadn't realised that we do that, but we absolutely do that every time. We
Yeah.
go over and we get the fire going again, and
It's like feel the heat. What's happening? Where is it? Get rid of the. Get down to the ember, see if something's glowing. Oh, actually, and it's almost like a schoolboy kind of thing with me.
Yeah.
It's like, right, okay, I need some really small stuff. Oh, there's a silver birch there. Right, go peel a little bit, get that on. It's
and then you go and get the carpet.
honestly, I've obviously shared too much.
You've overshared. You've got a beer and a brandy chaser going, Ed. You've overshared.
Cheers.
Yeah.
We'll get back to those sultry voices. This is Tim and Ade coming at you from KY. No,
no, coming from the UK.
I think that's the thing. I was also when you were saying about actually finding dry wood. I think I was watching something on YouTube that went on about the fact that actually, even in really wet, stormy weather, you can always find dry wood at the bottom of a pine tree. I mean, on the ground, but those dead branches that are on the tree trunk a little way up, always bone dry. Always bone dry.
They're so protected, aren't they, from the elements because of the tree itself, and obviously dry dead stuff snaps, green stuff that isn't going to burn bends like mad. So collect the stuff that snaps. It's there's always even when the weather's really bad, there's always something you can find. There's always something you can find. You can get. In most conditions, you can get a fire going. It's good to have the challenge, though, isn't it?
I think it massively is. I think that's what I like about firelighting. It is a challenge, and I would definitely consider myself an expert. I'm not an expert in an awful lot of things. I am an expert in firelighting, and yet to watch me sometimes. I think, actually, I should know this. And yet, sometimes I think people go, I thought I'd have had that by now. But that's kind of firelighting, isn't it? Sometimes you just don't have it.
Yeah, it's not an exact science, is it? I agree with you there. I consider you an expert. I'm an apprentice expert, but you are an expert. The countless ways you know how to light fire is great.
And I don't mean like Ray Mears kind of thing. I've still not used a bow drill. I think I could nail it though. It doesn't look that hard. Don't know what people are talking about, Tim.
Oh gosh. That's the gauntlet thrown down.
That's the brandy talking, Tim. That's the brandy talking. Damn your eyes, sir.
Oh god. I haven't done a bow drill yet, but I would like to. I've got some of those bushcrafty skills, some of them. I think I've probably got maybe a little bit more than you in the bushcrafty side,
I would say so, yeah.
but I, there's so much that I don't know and would like to learn more, and maybe one day. But I loved the way last year I got taught how World War II prisoners of war would light their cigarettes by rolling a piece of cloth off their uniforms. They'd roll that with a little bit of ash from the previous night's fire, and then they'd roll it between two flat pieces of wood to create friction.
Yes,
and
I've
then
seen that.
that would then create enough friction and enough heat that it would make an ember on the piece of material, and then they would light their cigarettes from it. And I actually I made fire with that last year, and that's just epic. I mean, it's a really cool way to do it that just looks a bit bizarre and looks like it'll never work in a million years, but actually it wasn't that difficult. But also you're kind of touching a bit of history there, which I love. I love a bit of that. So it's lighting fires in different ways is it's just a really cool skill to kind of have.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I think when we went to the bushcraft a couple of years ago, I got to use my steel and flint and held an ember in the fabric, the charred fabric, really well. But they actually taught us as well that actually charred bits of wood that hadn't gone to ash hold a spark really well.
That kind of blew our mind, really, didn't it?
That really blew our mind, yeah. And I was like, oh, wow. And I've not had to do that, but actually, just doing that, some of those simplest things, you just have to have time on your hands.
Yeah.
You have to have time. It doesn't have to be, oh, I need some fire to boil a pan of water or to cook something now. It's like clear time.
Yeah.
To get good at those things. And I think it's just one of those things like learning a language. It's just something you have to keep on.
Yeah, totally.
You're never done with, and I don't think I'm ever done with fire, apart from gasoline, petrol, if you will. I've seen too many people that just go,
God.
I'm going to throw this, and it blows up everybody. Maybe that's the only thing that I don't play around with in regards to
I don't
fires.
I don't use lighter fluid or petrol or anything like that. That's like hillbilly crazy stuff that you really, don't do that. Please don't do that. It's
and Tim's saying hillbilly in the admiration kind of thing. That's what them hillbilly, god damn them, they're great. They're crazy, but they're great.
God. But
and then I don't think we can get to the end of fire because there's no ending, there's no beginning. It is just sparks and flames, charcoal and unburnt wood, but we talk in a lot of the shows about our blowtorches. Now, I've got 3 that I can put my hand on within 2 seconds, I think. At this moment in time, I use one for work, and I bought 2 others just in case that one doesn't work when I need it to.
Have you not got one strapped on your hip yet?
Well,
in a holster.
I'm waiting till the gangrene sets in, and I can take my hand off and replace it with a blowtorch. I can be the first sort of cyborg kind of. Why did he have a hook? Yeah, blowtorch would have been much better.
Captain Blowtorch. Take that, Peter Pan.
Oh, I tell you, I need that on a t-shirt. I need that on a t-shirt. Captain Blowtorch.
Oh,
Salute me, private.
one of our listeners who's better at AI must be able to make some kind of image of Age being Captain Blowtorch with a blowtorch for a hand. Please, somebody do that and put it on our socials somewhere.
And for those people that are less confident, and I have to say, at one time I was a little bit afraid of blowtorches. They were like what proper men used for doing things like soldering and welding and things like that. And they obviously are quite ferocious. So handle with care, people. But you know what? If you can do a creme brulee and there's one for the kitchen, it's the same thing. It's just, you'll use it for firelighting.
The snow peak ones, though, they don't do very good creme brulees because those flames are big. They're big flames on the snow peak blowtorches.
Yeah, they're not that little blue kind of one that's good for, these are yellow flames that go, wow. Yeah, they're shouty flames, Tim. They're shouty flames.
They really are. They really are. And to be honest, the blowtorch does still scare me a little bit because it proper goes for it, and you're like, whoa, and it actually burns quite clean, and you can't always see the flame, but you can hear it, and you know it's on. It's the whole thing gets red hot. So you gotta make sure you set it to one side and leave it and don't touch it for edges. But
level ground.
Yes.
Because you don't want that toppling over and hitting your tent.
Or your leg. Ooh, no. Yeah. Although if it kind of branded you with a Snow Peak logo, you'd be all right with that, wouldn't you? Two more brandies and he's mine.
Let's see if we can make that happen. Mind you, though, their logo is a snowflake. I don't think I'm a snowflake, Tim.
No, we are not snowflake generation. We are not. We are Gen X. Gen X all the
way. So, yeah, I think I absolutely, as much as I love messing around with creating and playing with fire and stuff, there are those times where it's cold, get that blowtorch on and get that wood going. Because once you've got a fire going, it can be the harshest kind of weather, but if you've got a big enough fire going, it won't diminish it.
Yeah.
You keep on feeding it, you keep on taking care of it and stuff. It won't diminish it. It'll keep you warm. I think
it's the getting it going, isn't it? That's the tricky thing. But as you say, once you've mastered the getting it going skill, you'll it's easy to keep it going because you just load it up, you just put it all on.
But that's the thing where I kind of felt I'd failed one time, and I'd failed because of a number of things. One, it was a cold, wet night. Two, it was quite green wood that I bought from a local petrol station garage kind of thing. And, they'd kept it outside and it wasn't as it should be.
Yeah.
And then you get cold and then you get a bit miserable because actually you might not have eaten because you were expecting to cook on that bloody thing. So, it gets everybody a little bit irritable. So I had one of those nights, and thankfully that's probably about 15 years ago now, but that made me go, I'm buying that Snow Peak blowtorch. I'm going to ship it in from America, and it's going to cost me about 150 quid. Yeah, ouch. But the heart wants what the heart wants, Tim.
Yeah.
I didn't want those chefy kind of creme brulee ones. I wanted a Snow Peak camping one, and I love Snow Peak because of it. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things. sometimes you just fail at stuff and go, you know what, I'm not doing that again. Some
Mm.
people go, I'm not going camping again. That's not what
Yeah,
I'm made
yeah,
of. I
yeah,
was like, I'm going camping again, but this is the thing that I now need.
yeah, yeah.
The tools of the trade, Tim. Tools of the trade. Our trade is being outdoorsmen.
And
Those
that's
are
the
the
tool.
tools we
Those are
need.
the tools that we need. Yeah, it's a range of tools and the right tool for the right purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just exactly. And on a fair weather day, on a lots of things, all those lovely firelighters that people buy me, all those fire steels and all of those things are really good things to play with.
Mm,
But when necessity comes, yeah, I've got a blowtorch as well. And
yeah.
sometimes that's just my go-to, but it's not always my go-to. It's always like, right, okay, I'm going to play with something else today because I feel that when we're out camping, it's a bit of kind of playtime. We talk about, get
Mm,
your toys out and stuff. That's very much the I'm playing at surviving.
yeah, yeah. And we are playing. We are playing.
We're car campers,
Yeah,
we know that. I was talking to somebody today and saying, "Oh, camping's my thing," and he was like, "I used to do a bit of wild camping." I was like, "Oh gosh, talking to a professional here," and then I kind of thought, "No, actually, you know what? I've done that too.
yeah.
I'm a little bit older. I've got all the gear and the comfort and whatever I need, a 4x4 to get my stuff there. But I'm hardy. I think I'm
Yeah,
hardy. I think I'm
yeah.
quite hardy.
We've camped in some pretty miserable conditions sometimes.
Yeah, it's been
Whether it's
touch and go
yeah,
sometimes.
we've not given up. We've kept going, and we are pretty hardy. I think we're. I don't think I've ever never been like really tested with full on disaster. Obviously, a few weeks ago, the wind and the rain kind of did beat me. Camped in snow didn't beat me. I won at camping in snow. It's so I think we're pretty hardy campers, really. The weather doesn't put us off. It doesn't frighten us away. We're certainly
No,
we're certainly not fair weather campers, which a
no.
lot of people are, and that's all right. That's all right if you're a fair weather camper. It's but we're that's not thee and me, I don't think.
And like you say, we all like to be camping when it's warm or cold. I like to be camping when it's cold and I like to be able to have everything. But as I said before, I think Mother Nature really challenges us sometimes.
Mm, yeah,
So,
have those have
and
those have those tools in your toolbox really to be able to adapt your fire lighting style to whatever weather conditions you're
yeah,
presented with, because it does change. It does change.
yeah,
Uh,
have a backup.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Have a backup, do whatever you need. But how many times have we watched Alone?
yeah.
The American series, and the guys that are hunters and they lose their fire steel or they, have got so much confidence that they didn't bring a fire steel because they know how to light fires. They're still challenged. And I think,
Yeah,
not to that extent, but we are
yeah.
along
I mean,
that,
I
we're
always,
all on that journey.
yeah, I always remember that guy on Alone. I can't remember what series now, but they did catch it on camera where his fire steel fell out of his pocket and rolled into the fire and just
Yep.
burnt. It just burnt up in the fire, and the following day, eventually, he gave up looking for it and admitted defeat and left because he had no other way of lighting a fire. And I'm not
Yep.
saying I would be any different in that situation, but as you just pointed out, having a backup is really important. Having another
Yeah.
way, and that other
Yeah.
way might not be a piece of equipment. That other way might be a skill, some knowledge,
Yeah.
and knowledge is by far the best piece of camping equipment any of us. could invest in.
Oh, Tim, my God.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that kind of piece of good advice that's come round.
Oh, God. Knowledge is the best investment you could ever make. Best investment, and obviously a Snow Peak blowtorch.
Well done. Well done. You
God.
brought it back, right? You brought it back to Snow Peak.
I know. Bring it back to casual.
Yes. Ooh,
oh God. So
on fire.
Yeah. So that's kind of our journeys and what we do for getting fires lit. We'll try and show you some stuff on our socials this week. So we're predominantly on Instagram, Facebook. We've got a really good Facebook group, Casual Camping Podcast. And we stick some stuff on YouTube. Did you notice that we went past 200,000 views recently on one of our videos? 200.
It's not one of our videos, Tim. It's one of your videos.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
well done.
That's like craziness that one of our shorts on the old YouTube has done that. It's 213,000 views that's now had, which is just crazy. Isn't
that 13,000 since you showed me earlier in the week?
Yeah.
Is that picking up speed?
It's just is
that hurtling towards Earth?
What's funny though is the last one I put up on there has just got 141. Not 1,000, just 141. So it makes no bloody sense. But anyway, check it.
If it made sense, we wouldn't be podcasting, would we?
No, we wouldn't. But no. But yeah, check out the socials as always. Should we slip away to a minute mindfulness that's probably going to be a crackling fire?
Oh,
probably.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
And it was a crackling fire. Oh.
Amazing. There is nothing better. Next time you're out camping and you've got sausages on, close your eyes, not for very long because you don't want them to burn, but just think, is that a fire? And let your brain sort of play tricks on you.
Or has it started raining? You won't be able to tell.
Oh! Open your eyes quickly. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Turn them.
Open your eyes. Eat the sausages. Forget about it.
Eat the sausages.
Have a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. My favourite thing in the world is fire. I love it. Absolutely love it. You've got to be mindful of it. And I do... obviously there's an awful lot of wildfires and things that are going on around the world and have been over the last year and stuff. Those are certainly warning signs to make sure that you are very careful with your fire. Yeah. We're talking about this from quite a wet destination like the UK, so we have no knowledge of those things other than what we see on the
I'd beg to differ. So the North Yorkshire moors are still burning.
Are they?
They are still burning
Gosh.
because it's peat. So the peat goes down for like, 10, 20, 30 feet. Um, and the peat is still burning. Because it's really difficult to get the water to penetrate that, to cool it and put it out. So
Yeah.
we've had really quite nasty wildfires across Yorkshire this year. So they're all over the world, aren't they? Sadly, and just be mindful of fire bans. So in a lot of areas there is a fire ban,
Yep.
and don't disobey the rules, and have a lot of, as you say, fire safety is really important. You
Yeah,
don't want it spreading
really
anywhere.
is.
You also don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to. Burns are really quite horrible things. So play, and have a good time, but play safe, everybody.
Yeah, definitely. There are a couple of people out there that are doing some really different things with fire. So if you're in a fire ban zone, of which there are some now around California and certainly Australia, I think,
Mm-hmm.
a company called Howl Fires that
Mm.
do gas. Uh, yeah, check out their stuff. I'm really impressed. I'd like to have a play with it.
Mm.
I don't need it kind of thing, but I think if I lived in California, I'd need it. It'd be a must for me because I'd want that flame.
Yeah, they look like wood burning stoves, essentially, don't they? They look very
Yeah.
similar to the BioLite stove that you've
Yeah,
got.
of course. Yeah.
Similar sort of shape, but it's gas powered, and it just looks a really great solid piece of kit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
nice to have a play, but I don't think they're ever here in the UK yet.
No,
But
I think we'd have to do something about those. But really like those things, and the way that gas fires kind of went, where you've got those coals that then heat up and give
mm,
you, so you can have a fire. I wonder though whether or not if you've got one of those things and you're sat in the brush in
Australia.
California and stuff, that you'd constantly have people walking by and go, "Yeah, can you put your fire out, please? It's gas. Good, good. Even so, it's dangerous."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you just have all those Karens and stuff just going off at you. So yeah,
Yeah. That would get annoying, really.
because you'd be seen for miles around that you've got a lit flame.
Yeah,
Are you crazy, man?
yeah. Be careful. Just be careful.
Yeah. Right.
Fab.
Well, seems like a natural end. Thank you once again for tuning in. Thanks for, everything, those lovely shout outs and things that you do. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.